Public health nursing is a little bit of everything. I'm a clerk, a salesman, a diplomat. We do things, for our clinics are all specialized. Wednesday afternoons, for instance, we only see expectant mothers. But each one is a different problem, because each one is a different person. They feel they're special too, and always seem amazed when they discover they have something in common with the other women. But that's natural. After all, we all think of our health problems as personal problems. The Well Baby Clinic on Tuesdays and Fridays is a real all-star performance. I've gotten so that I could write a book about every baby that I handle. I know who's ticklish and who responds to cooing. I know what he weighed last month and what his father wants him to be when he grows up. His mother and I are old friends. That's the way it ought to be. But it wasn't always that way. When I first came to the clinic, I used to get annoyed at the way people behaved. After all, we were trying to help them. You think they do their share. They were all just cases to me in those days. TBs with numbers and histories. I had been trained to respect facts. And facts were things that could be understood or seen. A lung spot, for instance, it's there on the X-ray plate. A change in weight, you can calculate it by simple subtraction. I was proud of my facts in those days. I used to see the other nurses, the old-timers like Mrs. Jensen, fussing with the patients. I would hear her talking to them about their feelings, encouraging them to complain, it seemed to me. I felt superior because I didn't waste time and energy getting involved with patients, as I put it. I thought of nurses like Mrs. Jensen as old-fashioned. Small talk seemed so unscientific. Besides, there was no time for chit-chat with the pressure of the caseloads we were carrying. Just getting through the day was a miracle. Then one day, I came up against a situation that my science couldn't cope with. I had gone out with the other girls that morning, headed for the schools and factories and homes where we did our field work. This day, though, was a tough one for me, and by the afternoon, I was tired and cross. Besides, my last visit was a long ride up to Prairieville, one of our suburbs furthest out, just to persuade a patient to come to see the doctor. Delivering a personal invitation, no less. It was a tedious trip, through the outskirts and past the mining section. The patient was a miner's wife, and I had plenty of time to stew over the situation. I was going at the suggestion of Miss Roberts, my supervisor, but I can say I thought it was a good idea. This patient was pregnant and had been referred to our clinic 3 months before by her doctor. Now I had to go all the way out to her home because she had broken her appointment again and again, even though she was in perfect health, as far as I could make out. Well, by the time I got there, I had decided to be as pleasant and polite as possible. After all, a call is a call. Good afternoon, Mrs. Peters. I'm Miss Burke from the health center. I sent you a card because I couldn't contact you by telephone.
Yes, I know. I got your card this morning.
Well, aren't you going to ask me to come in?
Well, all right. I guess you can come in. This place is kind of a mess.
Oh, it looks fine to me.
But I'm afraid you can't stay long. My husband's coming home soon.
Oh, don't worry about that, Mrs. Peters. I'm used to husbands. We get along fine.